welcome back to Retired Happy. This is your Retired Happy friend Carolyn from Mississippi, and I'm so glad you could come and join me today. On our channel, we talk about things that give us joy and happiness and a purpose in life in our retired life. We want to enjoy our life, live it to the fullest, and do things that give us meaning and joy and purpose. So today is Sunday, and on this video, it's going to be a little bit different. Yesterday, Maisie and I took a day off and we went on a picnic. And we went on a picnic up the Natchez Trace. We have the Natchez Trace in Mississippi that goes all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, through the northwest corner of Alabama, and then across Mississippi all the way down to Natchez, Mississippi. So we are going on a picnic. We found a picnic spot that is on the Pearl River, and the name of the spot where we stopped is River Bend. So it's right on the curve and the bend of the Pearl River. We found us a picnic table where we could sit out and just enjoy nature and being outside, watch the boats go up and down the river. And I'll tell you about it on our trip and on our way as we go up on our little adventure yesterday. So I hope you enjoy this. Wednesday I'll be cooking again, and that video will be on Thursday. I'm not sure what it will be yet. And this Friday is going to be the last Friday of September. Can you believe that? So this Friday I'm going to be getting my groceries for October, and then next week will be our frugal shopping for the month of October, and we'll see how that comes out. So today I wanted to cover a few things before we get on our little picnic adventure, and I want to share with you my scarf. I finished knitting my scarf, and the actual pattern went wider than this, but I like a narrow scarf around my neck, so I stopped here and put my edging. So this is the pattern, and Lynn, you were right. I loosened my tension a lot, and it made it so much easier on my second knit two together yarn over. So I have really learned to knit looser. So I think I'm going to try socks now. I've got this finished. So my scarf is this long, and to wear it, I'm going to double it. And that's why I like it more narrow, and I didn't want to go ahead and make it any wider because I don't want it so bulky up in the neck of my coat. So I like this. This is just the right width. So what do you think? I like it. I think it's pretty. And there comes Maisie. I like it, and I like the color, and it's going to be fun to wear. Most of my wardrobe has black, gray, blue, purple, the rose colors, so this is going to go well with it. So I have finished my scarf. Right now I sprayed it, and I have it on a towel and blocking it so the stitches can get settled in and get used to their new pattern. Now, I had a question on the Cooking with Maggie cookbook. I had a question on who Maggie is and who wrote the cookbook. So on the front of the cookbook, you see this little dog. Well, that's Maggie. That's a drawing of Maggie, my little Cocker Spaniel puppy. And on the back of it is a hand-tinted black and white picture I did of her on the bench out in my backyard. So Maggie was my little Cocker Spaniel puppy that I loved dearly. She was such a sweet girl. And she died. I was at work one day. I knew she wasn't feeling real good and didn't have a lot of energy. And one day when I came home from work, I found her in her a little dog house, and that was one of the saddest days in my life. But this is Maggie. She lived from 2001 to 2007. So the book is dedicated to her. And through the cookbook, I had to cut out a lot of the original pictures because of the cost of printing just pictures. But my grandchildren would call and they would say, "Grandmama, what is Maggie doing?" And they knew that Maggie was my dog, and they always wanted to know what Maggie was doing. So I wrote the first Maggie book, Maggie's Neighborhood, explaining and telling and introducing who Maggie is. And I introduce her and say, "My name is Margaret May Montgomery, but my friends call me Maggie." And then it goes through the whole book on my mother and daddy are, and who are your mother and daddy. And I live in a house, an apartment, where do you live? And I go for a walk, and my friends are, who are your friends? So this is the first book that I wrote about Maggie and Maggie's Neighborhood. And then the second book I wrote was Christmas in Maggie's Neighborhood, which was one of my favorite books that I put out. But that's who Maggie is. She was my little Cocker Spaniel, and on the first page, this is one of my granddaughters on the stool cooking, and Maggie is right there watching her. So she was a big part of my life, and I still miss her today. She was a very special Cocker Spaniel. Okay, so that answers who Maggie was. I can't think of any other questions right now that I've had that I need to ask. So my thankful for today is thankful for the beautiful nature and the beautiful outdoors that God created for us to get out and enjoy, and for our joy and our benefit, but for His glory. So we enjoyed going out and just being in the woods, and I'll show you what we took to eat. It was all simple picnic, easy to carry food for me and for Maisie. And the river, we enjoyed just being out in the outdoors and the fresh air. So my good word for today, this is Sunday afternoon, and I've been watching the tribute to Charlie Kirk on TV, and I had no idea it was going to last so long, but it started about 2, and when I came in here it was still going, and it's 6:20. So he did an awful lot. And to tell you the truth, I did not know who Charlie Kirk was until he was assassinated. So what the devil meant for evil, God is using for good. And Charlie Kirk did an awful lot to point a lot of people, and mostly the young people and the college-age people, point them toward God and toward Jesus, and encourage them to seek Jesus in their life. So my thought was, there has been so much emphasis on who he was and what he did since he was assassinated. I don't want the focus to be on Charlie, because Charlie would not want that. Charlie was pointing others to God and to Jesus and what God has done in his life, and pointing them to accept Jesus as their Savior. So I have learned an awful lot about him, and he said the most important thing that he wanted to be remembered for was his faith. So on that note, I got kind of distracted, but on that note, the good word for today, which is the Bible verse that I put on all of my watercolor cards, on my my quilted heart cards, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And saved from what? Saved from our sins. Saved from what is the penalty of our sins, which is hell, which we went over that last week with Lazarus and the rich ruler who wanted Lazarus to come back and put some water on his tongue because he had gone to hell. So verse 18, he who believes in him is not condemned, but he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the one and only begotten Son of God. So some people say that, well, Jesus was not the Son of God, but that's the proof. That tells us right there, Jesus is the Son of God, and that's the most important question we will ever answer in our lives, or when we get to judgment after we pass on, is who is Jesus? He is the Son of God. So that was a little bit long explanation today, but we've been going through an awful lot in our country and individually in the last week. And I had the funeral last week that I shared with you, that Bible verse on to teach us to number our days. So today it's John 3:16. So we're going to get on with our picnic and our travel up the Natchez Trace, and I hope you enjoy this little scenic tour. The Natchez Trace is part of the National Park Service, and it's a one-of-a-kind trail in the United States, and I put a link on it, so if you want to, you can look up the Natchez Trace Parkway, and I also put another one on the Scenic Parkway. So I hope you enjoy that, and I hope when you come to Mississippi, you'll take a leisurely drive down the Natchez Trace. One thing that makes it, well, two things that make it very unique is no commercial vehicles are allowed, no trucks allowed, and the speed limit is 50. So you have to slow down and enjoy the view. So till next time, enjoy our picnic. And thank you so much for joining us. Share your smile with everyone today, because you never know what's going on in their life. Well, Maisie and I are off on an adventure today. Maisie's looking to see where we're going. But we are going up the Natchez Trace today. I'm going to take you up that way, show you a little bit of the Natchez Trace, and we're going to try to find a good spot to stop for a picnic lunch. So here we go. Maisie's all buckled up. I'm buckled up. And we're going to go see if we can find a fun picnic spot. Hopefully we can find one on the riverbank so we can watch the boats going up and down the river. So now we're getting on the Natchez Trace, and we're going to go north. So we're not going toward Natchez, we're going to go north toward Kosciuszko, toward Memphis. We're going to go up toward the reservoir, and hopefully we're going to find a really good little picnic spot. So the Natchez Trace, no trucks, no commercial vehicles can go on it, and the speed limit is 50. So it is slow traffic. It's a scenic drive all the way from Natchez, Mississippi up to, I think, Jacksonville, Tennessee. I'll check on that and let you know. So this is some of the scenic drive. It is a really pretty drive. It's slow. 50 miles an hour is the speed limit, monitored with the park rangers. This is some of the pretty scenic parkway. And the trees haven't started turning yet, so we are still late summer, and this is the middle of September. So hopefully soon we're going to start seeing some foliage change. Now this is the Overlook Point, and this is one of the historic markers. All of the markers along the highway are in park ranger style. So this is one spot where the Natchez Trace comes right along the Barnett Reservoir, and the Barnett Reservoir used to be the Pearl River. So the Pearl River was dammed, and just on the other side of Ridgeland going into Brandon. So after the Pearl River was dammed, it made the reservoir. So now the reservoir is a big lake of recreational activities. It also serves as the water supply for Madison, for Rankin, and for Hinds County. So That is this part of the reservoir. It's actually a big, big lake, and I'll see if I can find how many acres it covers. We're coming up on another area where we are real close to the reservoir. So this is really a scenic spot on the Natchez Trace, which is really, really pretty. Now, if you go south, you don't have all of this view of the reservoir. Going south toward Natchez is mostly just woodland, a lot of farmland, and just normal native Mississippi. There's some people who have just stopped to picnic today. They're picnicking out of the back of their car, which we normally call just tailgating. We do that a lot at football games. Take our food and tailgate out of the back of the car. So we're going along the Natchez Trace, and this section of it is real shady with a lot of trees. Now, we will go through different sections where there are cotton fields and cornfields right up close to the highway, but this section is shady and pretty. This is where we're going to exit. We're to River Bend, and this is a picnic area, and it also has some restrooms. So I haven't been up here in a long time, and there have been many storms come through. There goes a boat down the river. So this is on the banks of the Pearl River. So let's see if we can drive up in here and find us a good place to stop and eat lunch. Maisie, are you ready to stop and eat lunch? Huh? What do you see out there? Huh? What do you see? Let's see if we can, oh, that was a bump. Let's see if we can find a picnic table somewhere. I see one that I was hoping to get, but it's taken, and it's right on the bank of the river, so. All right, let's see what we can find. If we can't find a place here, we will. Here's a table that's empty, but it's out in the sun, and we don't want that one. There's one that's in the shade. We could go to that one. Let's drive around and look. But that is on the river where we could watch the boats. And there's the pavilion. There's several more tables up there. Let's see. We might come back and get one of those. Maisie and I decided on this table. There's an end of it in the shade, so I see some dogs up at this other picnic table, so we'll see how it goes. And there goes a boat, so this will be a good spot just to sit and watch the boats go by. So this is our picnic site, and our neighbors up at the next pavilion are cooking out. We might need to make friends with them and go see what they're having. Smells good. So this is our lunch we brought. I have a boiled egg, an apple, peanut butter, the fresh mozzarella cheese, the bread for the sourdough bread that I put a little bit of mayonnaise on. And my favorite drink is a sun-kissed orange with my peanut butter and sandwich. So I also brought a few little ginger snaps that for dessert I can put peanut butter on that, and I'm going to put peanut butter on my apple. So here's Maisie's bowl, and there's Maisie. Maisie, what do you think, huh? You're in a whole new place, aren't you? Yeah, we're in a whole new place. And there's, when we get through eating, we'll go take a little walk and walk around. So right now, our priority is getting some lunch. Here comes a boat coming down the river. So we'll watch him get closer and come on down our way. Well, it looks like two boats. So this is a bend in the river, and that's why the name of this picnic area, rest area, is called River Bend, because this is right in the bend of the Pearl River. And this is the river that goes down to the reservoir that we passed. Well, these boats are going to swing on over here closer to where we are. Doesn't that look like fun? It's Saturday afternoon and people are enjoying being out. There they go. So the weather is nice. It's a sunny day, just a few little white clouds in the sky. The temperature is probably around 85, 86, and just a slight breeze. So it's not too hot to enjoy being outside, not too windy, just a nice end of summer day. Maisie, we're going to go walk in a minute. Yeah, and I have some lunch for you. Yes, I do. Well, Maisie and I are finished eating lunch and we're getting ready to go. So here is one more boat we can watch go down the river. And everybody who's been here around us have finished eating their lunch, so we're about the only ones left. Come here, Maisie. And Maisie just ate her lunch. So we're getting ready to pack up and get ready to get in the car. It's beginning to get hot now, so we've enjoyed our outdoor session, our outdoor time. There have been lots and lots of dragonflies flying around. So that's typical of late summer. So if you're ever in Mississippi and coming down the Natchez Trace, stop by River Bend if you decide to stop over for a picnic. Maisie, let's go for a little walk before we get back in the car, okay? Want to go for a walk? She wants to go for a walk. Let's see if we can go down over here and see the edge of the river. Come on, Maisie. Let's go down here to the river, see what we can see. Come on. Yeah, somebody else had a picnic over here, didn't they? Come on. Let's see what we can see. Now, we're not going down any farther than right here, because Mama can't handle you on a leash and getting down to the riverbank. Now, the Pearl River is known to have a lot of alligators in it. And yes, it's true, there are alligators in the river. And I hope we don't see one today, but there may be one basking out on a beach somewhere. You never know. And the boat's going right on up the river that way. There is a big sandbar on the river, kind of around two more curves. And a lot of people like going to the sandbar and just laying out, picnicking, cooking out, doing what people do out in the summertime, enjoying being outside. Maisie, wait a minute, you're wrapping around my legs. Wait a minute. Well, we're in the car going home, so we had a nice day out. First time Maisie and I have done that in a long time, just go for a picnic. So Maisie's ready for a nap, and I'm ready for a nap. And I'm going to show you again the sign of where we stayed. So this is where we were, and this tells the story of this little spot. And all along the Natchez Trace, there are signs that explain what that mile marker, that explain what that particular spot is. There's a lot of history on the Natchez Trace, and it's mostly the history of the Indians. And this says it was back in, what does that say, 1698? I don't know, I can't read that far away. We are going back south now, so here's the reservoir right up beside the Natchez Trace. So this is going back down toward the Jackson area, so we're going south now. So Maisie and I are going home. We had a really nice afternoon out, and we're ready for a nap. we're back home. We just exited to go back home to our house, and this is the Natchez Trace Information Center. So there seems to be an awful glare on this glass, but I hope you can see a little bit about this. I was hoping they would be open so I could get a brochure, but they are not open. So it's just this information up on the bulletin board. But that is the route of the Natchez Trace Parkway. And there's such a glare, I'm sure you can't read that. So this side doesn't have a glass over it, so hopefully we can read this a little bit better. But this is some information, and I'm sure if you are interested in knowing a little bit more about it, you can Google Natchez Trace Parkway, and it goes from Tennessee down to Natchez, Mississippi. So this is the information center, but unfortunately it's not open and we can't go in. It used to be the Mississippi Craft Center, and now we have built a big, new, beautiful craft center up on Rice Road that houses so many crafts, and you have to pass a lot of critiques to be able to be a member of the Mississippi Craft Association. So it's not just for any crafts, but it is very select. The nature trail that is beside the information center, and this little trail goes, I don't know how many miles, long way. People come and bike, jog, walk. There's the man coming, pushing his baby stroller. But this is a very much used nature trail. And all along the Natchez Trace, the split rail fencing is very common. So that was used many years ago. And most of the places it's still used. You can see split rail fencing all along. A lot of the historic buildings will have the split rail fencing. Hey, Mace, what you doing, my girl? Let's go.